Alright, many of you who have watched my channel for more than probably a month at this point have already heard my many lamentations about Shoreline. Surprisingly, that is not the map that this video is about, because although that I do have many problems with its quests, I don't think the map itself is as terrible. As a matter of fact, the resort is honestly one of my favorite locations to go to in PvP. I just wish they cut out the rest of the map. No, the absolute worst map in Tarkov, in my opinion, is this steaming pile of dog crap right here. Anyways, I was forced to play Lighthouse in order to make this video, so I'm gonna monetize my suffering real quick. This video is brought to you by Opera GX. Are you tired of your web browser absolutely hogging RAM like a loot goblin? With GX Control, you can limit how many resources Opera uses, so that browsing doesn't absolutely kill your game performance. With Chrome, your computer is going to be begging for mercy, but with Opera GX and the GX limiter, she'll be doing alright. If you care more about aesthetics, then Opera's customization is perfect for you, and we ain't talking a simple color change here. A quick run through the store shows you the many theme options that are available. If you're into Valorant, they have the Radiant Agents theme. Each one of your keystrokes becomes a footstep. Each browser noise is ripped straight from the game. There's even background music. If that's not to your liking, we got Tarkov, we got Windows XP, we got, and my personal favorite, Metal Pipe. If you don't want the noises, you can just enable and disable different parts of each theme, so customization is entirely in your hands. My favorite bit of customization is the Force Dark Mode feature. When I'm working on a video at 4 AM because I procrastinated, I don't need to be flashbanged by a plain white screen. Just switch on Force Dark Mode and your retinas are safe from a brightness ambush. You can find all these features and more using my link below, and thank you to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Alright, on to why I hate Lighthouse and why I think it's an absolute steaming pile of crap. Lighthouse has 2 points of interest and 3 lanes. One point of interest is the Lightkeeper area. Yeah, 95% of us are never going to see that area. I play this game for a job, and I'm never gonna see that area. So, unless you are either an uber sweat, completely devote yourself to Tarkov, or just have way too much time on your hands, that ain't happening. And then there's the water treatment plant. And to get to the water treatment plant, you have these 3 beautiful lanes, of which only one isn't completely horrible. You have the middle death road. If you walk on this road, you're gonna die. That's kind of just the way it is. The only time you see people on this road is if they are crossing over from the seaside to get towards the chalets. The seaside with all the giant rocks is kind of interesting sometimes, you know, if you're a sniper and you just want to take pot shots over at the guys at the chalet. Otherwise, there's really nothing over there. Nothing of note except for like a quest and maybe a few lootable items. Yeah, it's pretty freaking boring. The fights that you have on the cliffs, they're kind of stupid. They're not that fun. Shooting across to the chalets, it can be kind of good for shooter-born, but most of the time it just sucks, because typically what happens, you don't land the first headshot because of how far it is. Typically you don't land it. So anytime you end up in one of these fights with these people all the way over in the chalet, all it takes is for them to lose interest and just move on, and you can't really do a whole lot about it. And even if you do kill one of them, you now have to run across the entire freaking wide open road in order to get there in a reasonable amount of time to maybe loot that kill before a scav pilfers it. And if they have a buddy, well, yeah, you're not getting that loot, which really freaking sucks. So yeah, the cliffs, there's not a whole lot over there. The entire map is very spawn dependent if you want any loot. There's this thing I call the L of disappointment. If you spawn on the left side on the coast or down by the tunnel, you're already not gonna have a great raid. The only lane that is somewhat viable is the chalet lane. And if I'm being honest, it's still not that interesting due to the fact that, yeah, this chalet really doesn't have a whole lot going on for it. There's very rarely PvP here. If there is ever PvP, it's mostly because, you know, they're newer players who don't know how to loot the chalet quickly and just leave. And even if you do fight in this area, the fences and the barbed wire and all the stuff all around kind of makes fighting here completely horrible. It's not that dynamic, it's not that interesting, it's not very fun in my opinion. Then you move on to the other chalet. It's slightly better, it's more dynamic, it's more open, you got more going on. Still, most of the time, you're not going to find anybody there. Hell, most of the time, the only place you're going to find players is either moving between these locations, which is not common, or they're already going to be at the water treatment plant, which still is surprisingly uncommon for some reason. The only place of real significance is the water treatment plant. And guess what? Some bastard either already spawned right next to it, or you are the lucky bastard who spawned right next to it, and you are going to have like literally 20 minutes of uncontested looting except for player scavs for some reason. I don't know why. Whenever I go to water treatment plant, there's freaking nobody until I start dealing with player scavs. And well, player scavs, they're lovely creatures.
You're a faggot, aren't you?
That's your average player scav experience. The only time you're gonna get PvP, besides maybe the rare occasion somebody either sprints up the stairs behind you and you just spray them down, or there's somebody chilling at the exfil train, is when some dude is camping on the cliffs with a sniper rifle and is trying to kill you as you loot your rogues. So at that point, he mostly just becomes a minor annoyance unless he's Chris Kyle and blows your brains out. But yeah, the PvP at the water treatment plant, the primary point of interest on the map, is still not good. Now, some people judge maps not based on, you know, how fun they are to play or how much you can actually get done on them, but they judge it much more on what loot is available. And, okay, if you want to see a number go up in your stash, then go play woods. Or go play streets. The loot on this map is freaking terrible. It is not good. On launch day, it was great. It was so incredibly stupid how good the loot was on launch day for Lighthouse. That was the loot house era. Nowadays, literally everything has been nerfed. Marin, the car that used to give you an absurd amount of loot, got nerfed. Rogues, they got nerfed. Chalets, they got nerfed. The treatment plant, nerfed. The village, nerfed. Every single part of the loot on this map has been nerfed into the floor because of how ridiculous it was on launch. This has been officially dubbed the shithouse era by the community. The one good raid I had where I made, it was either 1.1 or 1.4 million rubles, somewhere in that range. I got the closest spawn to the water treatment. I was completely uncontested except for maybe 2 player scavs. I looted every valuable location I knew of in the area, and I killed and looted 7 rogues completely on my own. So none of this loot was split, it was all given to me. And I got an armor repair kit that accounted for roughly 750,000 rubles of the 1.1 to 1.4 million. That is not great. I killed 7 rogues and looted a ton of valuable locations, and I still only came out with roughly 500,000 rubles plus the extreme boost I got from the armor repair kit. That's like a good customs run, or maybe, you know, a bit of a ratty reserve run, or a half decent run on woods. Like, that is not good. That is not good. It was not worth the time. It was not worth the effort to kill every single rogue. Speaking of rogues, they can be not too terrible to fight, or they could be absolute bullshit. It's one or the other. Did you walk a little bit too far down the shoreline on a leisurely stroll? Well, guess what? A grenade machine gun has just dropped 3 rounds with pinpoint precision straight into your face, and you are dead instantly. Did you peek your head a bit over a cliff that was right next to your spawn? Well, a machine gun just ripped through your thorax. It's not too terrible if you have played the map a lot. You kind of really know every single angle that's a death angle versus a not death angle. It's still freaking annoying sometimes. So when you do finally get on the roof and they're still sitting on their machine gun shouting like, "Locals arrived," or something like that, but they're not getting off their gun because the AI is impeccable, so you kill them with a good old headshot. Hold on. Okay, so I was using M856A1 in that clip, which does 54 damage, and rogues have 40 head health. So I might have struggled in math a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that 54 is in fact greater than 40. I think. So rogues are so stupid that sometimes they just say, math, what the hell is that? And don't die when you shoot them in the back of the cranium. I refuse to let anyone tell me that this was not a headshot. You can argue height over bore. It is not going to be that significant because I shot him in the back of the head, but if it's height over bore, then I'm sorry, I shot him slightly lower in the back of the head. That man should be dead. Even when you do manage to kill them, the loot is not good. The guns are bad. For some reason, some of them have a stock AKM that is half health. There are scavs with better guns. Like, seriously, you're telling me that these trained PMCs, these are ex-USEC, they are PMCs. You're telling me that in their fortified base of operations, they are incapable of providing proper maintenance to their firearms. So these half-health guns that run just fine when in their hands are going to seize up and jam up on you all the frickin' time. They're not worth it at all. Even the guns themselves, besides the SCAR that has that one really good 5.56 suppressor, none of them are worth using. All of them are freaking terrible, and the ammo you get from them, 99% of the time, is going to be utter dog water. Okay, there's a few exceptions. Once in a blue moon, you are going to get like some really good high-end armor-piercing ammo. If you're really lucky, maybe you'll even get the SA-58 that has 50 rounders loaded with M80. That's very nice. I have never seen one of those. I have killed probably like 90 rogues at this point just to make this video. I have yet to see one of those. 99% of the time, the best ammo I was getting was BT or M856A1. So yeah, the ammo isn't great. The guns are terrible. They're barely worth killing half the time. Seriously, like, scab guns are sometimes better than the things they are carrying. What the hell? Speaking of scabs, you're telling me that these rogue USECs that are so paranoid of literally everything, they kill their fellow USECs on sight, and if they see a bear, they turn into the Terminator through the power of, I don't know, racism or something, and then just gun him down. But for some reason, they saw Ivan waltz up to the gate and are like, nah, he's fine, let him in. Did he bring vodka or something? And they're just like, yeah, this criminal definitely isn't gonna shoot us in the back of the head, but our former comrades in arms, no, we better kill them as quick as possible. So yeah, between the bad map design, in my opinion, the stupid AI that varies from stupid to stupid, and just the bad loot and the piss poor PvP, I'm not a fan of this map. The only saving grace of Lighthouse is that if you have Edge of Darkness, you don't have to do Lighthouse tasks. You don't have to do them. If you don't have Edge of Darkness, I don't know, you might have to do them. That sucks to be you then. But if you have Edge of Darkness, you don't have to do them. You can get max traders anyways. When a map's only saving grace is that it is not necessary to play it, I think that kind of reflects poorly on the map. But, you know. So yeah, thank you for watching this installment of Levi has a bad experience in Tarkov and decides to make a rant about it because he thinks it might be funny. I really hope you enjoyed. I might start branching into other games soon. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. I just don't know when. So be sure to be on the lookout for those and maybe drop any game suggestions you have in the comments. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. And again, I hope you enjoyed.